This is PS 27.1 or Physical Science Chapter 27, Section 1, Weathering in Soil. The main idea of this section is weathering breaks down rocks on Earth's surface. Your essential questions: what is the role of weathering and recycling Earth materials? What are mechanical weathering and chemical weathering, and how are those different? And how do you know the difference? There's going to be a lot of y to the third power questions here. What natural processes contribute to soil formation, and what methods help to control soil loss? Weathering is an example of physical and chemical processes that involve the interaction of air, water, and rock over an amount of time. Weathering is the process of physical or chemical breakdown of those materials at or near Earth's surface. So, mechanical weathering. Forces that can cause mechanical weathering include collisions, frost wedging, and biological activity. Variables that control mechanical weathering include the nature of the material being weathered, climate, and time. Of these variables, time is the least noticeable. So let's talk about variables when it comes to the material. If I have sandstone versus granite, and I'm going to give you 5 years. Which one do you think is going to weather the most quickly? Sandstone, right? I can take sandstone right now with my thumb and change what it looks like in a matter of minutes. Granite, I can sit there and rub it all day long and nothing's going to change in 5 minutes. It's still going to have the same type of surface. Physical forces exerted on rocks cause mechanical weathering. As large rocks break down into smaller rocks, the total surface area increases, causing the rock to be more susceptible to weathering. So if I have just one big piece here, I can only hit it from certain sides, right? But if I can get in there and get into all these, this is a piece, this is a piece, this is a piece, this is a piece. There are a total ton of pieces. Weathering is going to happen at a faster rate. So as a large particle like this one breaks into smaller particles like this one, the amount of surface area increases. More surface area compared to volume increases the likelihood that a material will be attacked by chemical agents. Frost wedging happens all the time in Missouri, right? Rocks on Earth's surface can be broken apart by frost wedging. When water freezes, it expands. So, ever put a Coca-Cola in the freezer? What happens if you forget about it? That's right, it explodes because what's inside is expanding. So that force causes cracks to be pulled apart even more than they were before. So if I have a crack in my sidewalk and water gets in there and then it freezes overnight, it's going to bust up that concrete or rock even more. Biological activity, plant roots, animals, those all types of things are mechanical weathering and can cause the degradation of rock. So let's talk about chemical weathering, something completely different. This is a chemical change that causes the breakdown of rocks. Oxygen and water are the key agents of chemical weathering, along with naturally occurring acids. Rock formations weather at different rates. Such factors include climate, temperature, the amount of precipitation, and the amount of evaporation in an area. Rock type affects weathering rate. Limestone, which is calcite, will weather faster than granite, which is made out of quartz. Rocks on steep slopes will weather easily as well. Soil is a mixture of weathered rock, organic matter, like dead animals, dead plants, water, and air that is capable of supporting plant life. Soil originates from weathering of the bedrock beneath it or from materials transported from another location. So that gives us this thing called a soil horizon. The figure you see shows a complete set of horizons designated as O, A, E, B, C, and then R. R is the surface of bedrock. O, which is this very thin layer right underneath the grass. Okay, it's this very dark, thin line. That part, and A, is the horizon, often is referred to as topsoil. The E horizon, located here, in which finer sediments and soluble materials are transported down. The B horizon collects the materials from above and is usually darker than E. The C horizon is partially crumbled with weathered bedrock, and of course R is the unweathered bedrock.
What do you get when you mix some rocks, the weather, and a few plants and animals? Eventually, you'll end up with soil. Rocks are broken down into smaller and smaller pieces by weathering. When it rains, water seeps into cracks in the rocks. If it is cold, the water in the cracks freezes. The ice crystals expand, putting pressure on the rocks. Repeated freezing and thawing of water widens the cracks, and more cracks appear. Eventually, pieces of rock break off. Plants begin to grow in the rock fragments. Plant roots further wedge the rocks apart. The roots give off acids that further break down the rock through chemical weathering. The weathered rock fragments eventually become a habitat for more plants, as well as worms, beetles, fungi, and other organisms. The activity of these organisms cause more rocks to break down. Organisms in the soil die, decay, and become humus. Humus is decaying and decayed organic matter, and together with rock fragments, water, and air makes up all of the components of soil.